Hey, this is Sam Black with some closing thoughts on this green-white Marvel deck that I just played some matches with. Overall, I think that compared to other Marvel decks, the big strength of this deck is that it's much better against the blue control decks. This is largely just the strength of Gideon, but also the ability to use Smuggler's Copter, as we just saw in the match against Blue-Black, to dictate when your opponent has to tap mana on your turn to allow you to force through a Gideon or an Aetherworks Marvel. Lets you make plays that the other Marvel decks just aren't capable of making, and you have more really hard for them to deal with threats. And Tireless Tracker out of the sideboard is really important there, and plays really well with this deck's plan of just playing the kinds of threats that are most difficult for control decks to smoothly answer, and that leave you with a lasting advantage when they do. Moving away from cards that let you marvel faster at card disadvantage, like the Puzzle Knots, to instead just know that a Resolve Marvel is going to be a huge problem for them no matter what, and so you don't need to use cards on that, and you can instead have all your cards just be threats. It just puts you in a really good position there. The trade-off is that you're a lot slower and clunkier in other spots. Most importantly, against aggro decks, you don't have Harnessed Lightning. And that's a big deal. Harnessed Lightning lets you get energy fast if you need, and lets you just answer Copters and other fast attackers that this deck is not as well positioned to answer. That's basically just the crux of the issue, is comparing this deck to Red-Green Marvel. I think that this is going to be better against slower decks, Green-Black Delirium, and any of the blue control decks, not necessarily Blue-White Flash. And the trade-off is that it's going to be worse against the Copter decks, because you're not optimally suited to leveraging Gideon in those matchups. So it can just a lot of your cards can be badly positioned, and you can come out slower and just be clunkier and fall behind more there, and you're less likely to be able to use Marvel on time to catch you up. That's my conclusion from here. I think that the costs against Copter decks are too great, but I am curious about the idea of trying to splash red here. You have Aether Hub, Servant of the Conduit, Attune with Aether, and Evolving Wilds. If you were to just cut like a forest and 2 plains for 2 more Evolving Wilds and a mountain, then you have 4, 8, 12, 16 sources of red mana. That's easily enough to support 4 Harnessed Lightnings. And then it's not necessarily easy to fit 4 Harnessed Lightnings in this deck. I would probably look at something like cutting an Aether Storm Rock, maybe an Emrakul, and then maybe 2 Stasis Snares, and aside from giving you cheaper removal and potentially more energy creation, it also gives you another type in your deck. This deck currently doesn't have any instants in the main deck, so that would let you have potentially all 7 types to cast a 6-mana Emrakul, and it would also increase your ability to reliably get Delirium for Ishkana. So if I were interested in, or if I were to pursue playing Green-White Marvel, I would probably look more seriously at Naya Marvel with Harness Lightning main, and then you'd have the option of playing either Radiant Flames or Kozilek's Return in the sideboard if you were interested, although I'm not sure if either of those is better than Fumigate. But I think that would be an upgrade for this deck, and if that shores up the weaknesses that it has, I do think that Gideon in general is probably a better Planeswalker in this format than Chandra. So I think that there's a lot of merit to going that way over straight red-green. And if this is just a better Marvel deck once it's splashing for Harness Lightning than red-green, then it has a real place in this metagame, since we've certainly seen a lot of red-green Marvel lately, and an upgrade to that deck would be a really welcome inclusion. So that is my takeaway from this session. Really nice to see a deck that's doing something pretty different in this format. And that's it for now.